We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. This was said by Aristotle. Talent or skill, what should you focus on? If things are tough and nothing seems to be working, what should you do to keep going? This year, 2020, seems to be full of ups and downs. More downs, really. Just when you think things are getting better, you're not really sure what happened, but it definitely wasn't what you were thinking would happen. Like I was telling my daughter about how I always wanted to be financially independent, a doctor and a teacher, and everything else in between. God is kind and He made me financially independent. But now, with the corona situation and no house help, it seems that we are independently doing everything. That definitely was not part of my grand plan. You are listening to Dr. Amrita on the Health Wellbridge podcast. The good news is you get used to it. You realize everything that God gives you or everything that happens is like an opportunity. You have to focus on the good bits and kind of gloss over the not so good bits. Take, for example, my podcasting journey. I have been podcasting since 2018. It was like once a month a podcast back then. Then in 2020, from the March April period onwards, when we had more time, what with the COVID 19 situation, I increased the frequency and it was a really good thing to do because my podcast really picked up. But was I earning boatloads of money from it? Not really. Podcasting is not really that easy. Not the way the gurus tell you that you just do it. It's definitely not easy. You have to commit to it just like you have to commit to everything that matters and everything that you want to make into a good quality product. But I wanted to make my content available to all those who could not read due to any reason. That's where the audio content format is amazing. But I digress. The topic for today is about talent and skills. What is more important? What comes first? Are talented people more successful or successful people more talented? Can you polish your skill into a talent? Does talent get rusty? If you use it, does it get better or worse? Should you share your talent or hide it? Why do so many people suffer from burnout and talent blocks? What's the secret way to nurture skills and your inner talent? You will get the answers to all this and more in a little book called The Little Book of Talent by Daniel Coyle. And today I will tell you my favorite parts from the book. The blurb says it's a 52 steps to a faster brain and a smarter you. You can actually upskill to a level of great talent. It's a book which is scientifically proven according to the author and field tested. There are very good examples. But will it work for you? Depends on how hard you work. As Daniel says, you keep doing. And as Albert Einstein said, one must develop an instinct for what one can just barely achieve through one's greatest efforts. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So train right. A 72-page book with some of the most profound nuggets of wisdom you will find in a book of this size. You can get it on Amazon. Now let me share why I am passionate about this book. Being a doctor, creative arts was not anywhere in my horizon until one fine day in 2014 October. Suddenly the gates opened and I experienced an almost Alice in Wonderland type feeling when I started earning as a freelance creative writer. Once again in 2020, when my podcast crossed the 10,000 downloads, excuse me, the 20,000 thing is still in my brain and I hope it happens in 2020 itself, but I don't know. I realized sticking with stuff helps. This week I won the Kuku FM's Happy Diwali contest. It's a podcasting platform and I thought of sharing this with you. The main reason I'm sharing my journey with you together with the book excerpt is to tell you that you shouldn't stop when you feel like giving up because that's the point beyond which things start getting better. Now, my favorite nuggets from the Little Book of Talent. Nature and nurture are both important, but nurture can tilt the balance. Practice it till you perfect it. Learn it right, then repeat it until you can do it perfectly. You have to know the right way to do stuff before you go on repeatedly doing it because repeatedly doing a wrong thing is also dangerous. Unlearning isn't something our brain does very well. So, getting it right is very important the first time around. Have a notebook, create a roadmap, write it down. Don't share it before you do it. Take small steps, repeat it, do some more. You have done more than most people. Taking the first step matters. Mistakes are the magic crumbs which will always teach you. Start, get better, and keep moving. That's the formula which helps those who are successful. So, what are you waiting for? Get started now. My favorite quote from the book is by music education pioneer Shinichi Suzuki. Practice on the days that you eat. So, talent is important, but skill even more so. When you feel like giving up, keep going because few people will. It's only the toughest who make it, and you are one of them. You were listening to Dr. Amrita on the Health Well Bridge podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Health Well Bridge, and I'm Dr. Amrita, ENT surgeon based in Kolkata. Thank you so much for listening. Health Wealth Bridge Flash does not provide medical advice and is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, treatment or diagnosis. Call your doctor to receive medical advice. If you think you may have a medical emergency, please dial your local emergency response phone number. Thank you.